ki Heratanga, mo te Kemu Whutuporo, Hastings Boys and New Plymouth Boys High School here on Whakaata Māori. Kia ora wātu e hoa mā, kia ora manakitanga ki te kaupapa, na whakamana ngā iwi Māori e ngā rā katoa. Kia ora wātu, ko Dale Husband tēnei. Thank you for joining us for today's coverage of Super 8 coming to you from Hastings Boys High School. And a gorgeous day too for rugby. Beside me today once again me Baker, e te tuhine, nei rato mihi kā koe.
Oh, kia ora, nā mahara mai. It's a beautiful day out here. The wind, though, could be a factor in the game today. I think it's going to be a good kicking game, and I think the team that kicks the most in an accurate kicking game will be the victor.
As you can see, the guard of honour provided by the second 15. A lot of pride in the squads taking part in this rich tournament and age-old competition as well that pitches some of the best of our Central North Island schools together. This is the lineup for New Plymouth Boys High School. They had a win over Gisborne last week, but other than that, they're 1 and 3. So keep an eye out too for Liam Day at the back. He's coming in with some pretty good form, and I'm looking forward to seeing City Rova, Callum Tito as well getting underway. Jack Wiseman, likewise, with some good raps coming in to today's game. They came across from New Plymouth yesterday, were billeted out last night, and so they'll be full of expectation here and want to get underway. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the boys from Taranaki go in this clash with those from Hastings Boys High School. A proud school, and plenty of All Blacks too have come through the kula over the years, Medi.
Yeah, like one probably that stands out, Paul Tito for New Plymouth. Well, he's a good Taranaki man, good Māori All Black as well, the ginger, so he's got some whānau in there as well with Callum Tito. Well,
here's the Hastings boys lineup, and we're looking forward to the front row work here with Carnival and Leif Tavita as well. We'll be throwing in the line-outs. And again, looking for the skills of Matolo Peteia, their skillful number 8, and out wide, Kofalunga and also Crawford Pakoti. Their replacements on the bench today, including a number of Iwasa whānau, and looking forward to the effort there. Tawhai Iwasa is the coach today of Hastings Boys High School, and a pretty impressive record they've carved over the years and have been Super 8 champions not so very long ago.
Yeah, they've been Super 8 champs 2017. They've also had lots of All Blacks, Roger Randall, Hickey Elliott, Danny Lee. I could go on if you wanted to. And I think from this team you're going to see a very sort of expansive, high-skill team with Tawhai Iwasai, 2007 Commonwealth Games medalist in the sevens arena. So that's going to have to be, passed on to his team as well.
One of the things we like the most about the competition too is the enthusiasm that our rangatahi provide and support on the field. And as you can see, young players excited to get the opportunity to strut their stuff across Whakaata Māori and through the Māori Active platform. As we've mentioned in previous broadcasts, the idea here is to celebrate our rangatahi and their abilities in sport. And it's not just rugby that's getting extra attention. Over the next few months and years, we'll be bringing on stage cross-country, running, basketball, and other sports that our high school sector are involved in. As you can see, Ameda touched on it too. The ground's just a little sort of spongy, I guess, might be a description. It's not muddy. The rain hasn't come, but there's certainly significant wind too that's going to be a factor in the game, and indeed how these teams approach it. As we welcome the two squads on, it's New Plymouth up against Hastings Boys High School. This is Whakaata Māori, and it will be the boys from Taranaki who'll be playing from right to left. The ground runs really north-south, and as you can see, the beautiful ranges in the background, so the wind coming across from the southwest. But important, as always, in early stages of a game, that they settle in quickly, and there's a lot at stake here for both teams, not the least of it, reputations at stake. Hastings come in with a 2-2 record here, and of course we've seen just how good the Hamilton Boys High School squad have been. They've already secured a place in the final, which will be broadcast across Whakaata Māori on August the 13th. And here we have the traditional laying down of taonga, and no doubt too haka coming up shortly. Wonderful to have you with us here this afternoon, and big ups to all our mums, dads and supporters of secondary school sport as we bring you this proud competition. Super 8 Rugby, first 15 rugby, and involving Tauranga and Hamilton and Rotorua, Hastings and Napier, New Plymouth and Palmerston North, as we await the haka, and looking forward to this display of cultural pride and of school pride from our young men from Taranaki and from Hastings. Moriori kia tata. Let's go to the haka. Out on field to pick up the audio as well as we might and will in the future there, but you get the gist of it, and I'm just surprised there's no response here by the looks of things from Hastings Boys High School. Great to have you with us though here, continuing coverage of the Super 8 Rugby. A pleasure to welcome you along here to Hastings, food growing centre of the Hawke's Bay. And it was interesting as we drove through Hastings today to see all the fruit trees stripped of leaves, of course, at this time of the year, but the orcharding practices and horticultural practices of this area are of great renown. Good to have you along. Tumere Baker beside us today as we get underway here, and it will be the visitors who will be playing right to left, Taranaki, and looking forward to seeing what they've got to show for us here today. Travelled, as I say, yesterday across. In previous weeks, when COVID was more of a threat, there's some hesitancy about billeting players. They've reinstated that practice now, and so they are here. They're in enemy territory. Let's see what they've got as Kalantito gets us underway. 35-minute halves here. You're watching Super 8 on Whakata Māori, encouraging more activity in sport. And the first kick on the far side of the field is a good touch finder.
Yeah, we're first into our rangi ki waho, and we're good to see how good the Wātepe Kapi, the hooker, gets a good throw in here. Good platform there that is on the halfway mark here for New Plymouth, and they'll be looking for a good line out, and I would say hitting their backs pretty quickly. Here's
Victor Tavita with the first throw, and it's gone to the back, and Hastings have peeled away with the football there. Good start. I think it's Quade Crawford who got at it. This is Ross, and now through the hands we come as we get the first real taste of what we might expect through the course of the afternoon. Settling it in and some support coming around. Ross slides and then decides to move down the left edge. Tom Allen with the first touch of the afternoon. He just settles it, and now we'll work across to the right. Ambitious and getting it underway pretty quickly, Hastings boys. And down the right side comes Tofa Kawharanga. He gets himself in good body position on the sideline. So this is a good start here from Hastings. We want to settle it down through the middle. They're ambitious, and the half volley is still alive on the far side of the field. So still a goer there with Big Israeli Carnival getting himself involved. Also, the boys from Taranaki have to make sure of their defence and get up and provide support for each other. Quade Crawford delivers up here. Ross sliding again once and out to the right-hand side. Nice work for Deacon. He's to ground, as you can see. Good field position, great attacking spot. And the first penalty is in for the afternoon. And it will be Hastings who will receive that penalty.
Yeah, the harmony there. They're just not releasing the player. So, you know, if you're back at home, got to release the player so that they can have a good contesting of the ball. What I'm really interested in about Hastings is they're actually playing with two pivots. The Crawford Parkour comes up and he actually plays in 10 quite a few times. So it means that they're going to get wider a lot quicker with the 15 and the 10.
What I'm liking most, though, Mitty, is there's a real willingness to give the ball some air, and that's encouraging, isn't it? Because you've got to get it across both sides of the field. Yes, you've got to earn the right through the middle, but obviously there's a lot of trust in the men on the outside. So it's the home team here with the first throw in, just a couple of minutes into our first half action. Wonderful to have you along here on Whakaata Māori Active, and this is good work from Hastings. You want to continue on with the work that they've provided with the Moro, and out it comes into the hands here of Zed Stuart Cranston. I was speaking with his old man just before the game too, and he was pretty keen to see his son go well, and so he'll be pretty rapt with that start from him. But it is a turnover here, and Hastings come back with the football, and this time around again it will be towards the home team, the second penalty of the afternoon. Yeah,
not rolling away. But basically the tackle was completed and he's stuck there, and the referees decided that he wasn't rolling away, so they've given the harmony.
Well, again, good to see these young guys with a bit of swagger and a bit of attitude. They're prepared to give it a go, as we saw when Zed Stuart Cranston snaffled the ball and decided to peel back the meters down the left edge. So Hastings boys through to Vito with the throw-in. That's big mighty Leaf right in front of us there. Good shot too from our camera staff who are getting right behind and up and down the sideline there. It's a bit of a blustery day too, so technically providing some challenges, but we're really pleased to be able to bring these pickies to you here on Whakaata Māori. A nice little ball, maul as well, the Moro. And this is a nice scything run through from Bryson Crawford Pakoti, who's in the fullback spot. So Ross has the ball now, and he's pretty confident there as he whips it out for Tommy Allen. And as you can see, they're well positioned. They'll work it down the left edge. Little show and go for Crawford Pakoti. And this time around, it will be the visitors who'll get the penalty as well, and they'll welcome that too because they've been under the pump, under the pressure. Yeah, they're under the pump again, and that's just holding on to the ball there. And that's again, we talked about the two pivots there with Parkour and Deacon. Again, they showed on the left-hand side, the 15 just sort of coming into play. I think that's going to be really crucial as we go in within that game. Callum Tito will send it downtown. Another good touch finder. Benefiting from the wind too, which is somewhat at the back of the Taranaki visitors. 5 gone, no score here. Pretty evenly matched at the moment, these two teams, but it's been a decent start here for the home squad, Hastings. Proud community. People out and about here this Saturday morning. A bit of sunshine around and cafes were full. Even popped in and had ourselves a coffee with the strains of a saxophone echoing across the car park. It was pretty interesting, wasn't it, Mitty? Yes, it was, and as you can see, a bit of a knock on there. So it's New Plymouth's ball here. Good to see the attacking attitude, that's for sure. Up the middle they come, and they use the big boys first up. They just want to settle things down here. Use it well. Rova puts it out to the right-hand side. Some good D coming in, though, from Hastings, who want to get amongst it. Mix it up through the middle. They've forced a turnover, too, and have the ball now. The boys in red and blue to the back, and here's the big boot downtown. Let's see how the bounce comes as we find it's reeled in here by Hastings on the boil, as well as Tavita looks down the left edge and just trying to get the ball back on the inside as Ioasa, but he's bundled into touch. And, that was good play too from Hastings. Really keen to get hold of the football. And as such, just upsetting the rhythm at the moment here of the boys from Taranaki and setting themselves well, setting a nice platform. Yeah, that's a great... Oh, it's
we could be looked at that of there, just to Vita. Nice little ball out to left-hand side, just bumbled over the side there. But it started back in the 22 with a high kick and then a regather. So, comes back, then Nuki.
So here we have the scrum to be set. As you can see, a couple of the players are getting a bit of mud off their boots. I'm not quite sure if they've been advised to wear long sprigs. They don't even know if the young guys utilise them anymore. Of course, we have these moulded boots nowadays. Back in the old times, well, you'd have sprigs that you could screw in, and if it was a heavy track, then you'd have the long sprigs. You remember that time, Amy?
Oh, look, I would say the Po Whakamoa, the front row, have definitely got long sprigs out there, so don't think you'll be seeing them with moulds. Pretty hard to scrum and get the grip in there with moulds, and it'll be interesting to see the contest between the Po Whakamoa, the front row, because you want your first scrum to be sort of like, who's going to own it for the rest of the game.
There's a lot on show here and at stake here. Scrummaging such a vital part of success in all facets of rugby, but certainly here in secondary school play. So it's City Rova who gets the ball out, and now let's see how they control the football here as the support players come around and blow over and create the opportunity out to the back, and it's onto Tito's boot again. He sends it downtown. It finds his touch on the far side of the field. Some temptation to go for the quick throw-in, but in the end opting to await the arrival of the forward. So smart play there from New Plymouth Boys High School, and they'll be willing to just grind their way downfield and create an opportunity closer to the line. Let's see how they perform here in this line-out that are Warangiki Waho, and we'll see how they go. Throw in for Hastings.
Yeah, you'll be wanting to good platform here, good throw, making sure it's straight. And I would say it suggests a centre hit from here.
Good climb here from Quade Crawford, and it's Hastings who get hold of the ball here, working together well, talking to each other. They've got hold of the ball through Ross, and downstairs they send it, and it's the bounce. It's going to be important, and the half volley pick up. It comes flying into it. Ramsey's Chong indeed knocks the ball forward, and so Hastings find themselves with the pill as they peel it back across, and now into the hands there of Hela Tolima. Good play here from Hastings. But there's an indiscretion on the far side of the field. Referee going across to consult with a touch judge.
Yeah, it's a whakataka knock on, and then they'll be set for the Nōniki. And again, the Po Whakamoa, the forwards, the front row, see how they go against each other. This is a great platform here for Hastings. I'm really liking to see Deacon Uwasa see what they can do in the midfield, and probably hit your fullback and the fullback out wide.
Well, here we go with another scrum. It's been an evenly matched contest thus far. I would have expected in the first 10 minutes for one of the teams to have faltered, but at the moment they've got their scoreboards intact. It's Jamal Ross, who's the captain here today, who'll be feeding the scrum, coming in from the eastern side. And that's a good push coming in from New Plymouth, putting pressure on too. Ross scrambles to recover, still hasn't quite connected with the ball, although there is a late scoop up. I think it's Deacon who's got hold of it with the pill now. Ross again quickly into his work, muddying up out there on the track, as you can see, and difficult conditions to contain the football. Good D coming in from Paddy Howlett too, the big popo here from New Plymouth Boys, and he makes a good tackle. So some solid defence coming in, but unfortunately for Taranaki and New Plymouth, there is a penalty, and wanting to get on with it quickly too is Bryson Crawford Pakuti. He gets himself into the mix, but instead they'll pass it back to Kobe Deacon, and Deacon will look towards the eastern touchline too and just improve their chances going forward towards the try line. Great to have you along here. You're watching Whakaata Māori through Māori Active, and this is Hastings Boys High School, where we are broadcasting from today, up against New Plymouth Boys High. 11 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Yeah, good kick there from Deacon, the whana straight into the corner, which means the platform's going to be good. They have been using the moro, the ball, and I could see that happening again, being so close to the line here. It's been working for them, and then they're unleashing their backs, their centres, and that have been doing really a good job.
He's got good game management skills, the skipper, hasn't he, Jamal Ross? He's got a good kicking game And he knows he's got some good support in there. Good climb this time around from Tom Allen. And this is what we were expecting from Hastings, but instead an opportunity to just get away from their danger zone for the visitors from New Plymouth.
Yeah, well done, New Plymouth. They just backed off the Moro, which is the maul, and they basically drew a penalty of them. You must be contested with somebody before you can do a maul. So you've got to go forward first and make that contact. And New Plymouth, good game management, pulled away. They tried to do a maul and penalty towards them. So that's pretty smart. That's savvy.
And they're 8 metres short of the halfway line. So evenly matched at the moment, but you just sense that it won't be too far away before the nut will crack and we'll get some points on the board. It's Taranaki and New Plymouth who'll feed the line out from the far side of the field. They change here, keeping their opponents guessing. Good climb from Bo Putty in the end, the number 5 for New Plymouth. That's good. Mortal. Great run here too from the big prop forward, Paddy Howlett. He's put away too, Howlett, but can he deliver up for his teammates who come in to muscle up and give him support? Here's Rova. Rova out wide now. The ball is going to be towed forward here as Hastings look to get hold of it through Tolima. He sets it up nicely for them on the halfway line. And now out onto the boot there, I think it's Ross who will send it downtown, as you can see, just 10 metres in front of his own line, taken at the back by Chong. Onto the boot of Tito, who wants to play safety first rugby, and that's a very good kick to the far side of the field. Gee, that must have been 40 metres, 50 perhaps even with that, and temptation for the throw-in.
Excellent kick, absolutely excellent kick, using the wind. Again, we're looking to, he's peeling them back, making those forwards turn around, really start drilling them into the corner, you know, the Rangi Ki Waho. You know, the wind, if you look at the flag, you can see that this is a hard throw because he is throwing into the wind. So this is going to be an interesting one.
Zivik Tavida is the man with that responsibility. Puts it up, beautifully claimed too. Allen's looking good in the line-outs. Here they come, the boys from the home squad and their home supporters there urging them on. But there was a knock-on, I think, there, and so it'll be a scrum feed here for New Plymouth. They'll be pretty satisfied with the way things are operating at the moment. Certainly some great work. We just acknowledged the kicking game that Callum Tito has brought with him across the island, and it's been very effective because all of the opportunities that Hastings have tried to create for themselves have been nullified too by getting hold of that ball and sending it straight back down the other end of the field. So we'll set ourselves here for the scrum and to feed that. With his back to us is City Rova. Let's see what New Plymouth are able to do with the ball. Coming up to quarter of an hour. Gone here still 0-0 and what is a tight tussle with two well-matched teams, and they'll look to go down the right edge. This time looking to use the kick as well, holding up. There's the ball, well protected, now delivered. They just need to settle it down, control it, be confident in their teammates' abilities, utilise the phases. We've seen some good runs too from Patrick Howlett. That's the big bloke at the back. Whakataka, bit of a knock on there. Yes, it's been quality football here, and uncompromising, what you'd expect in two teams doing battle who came into the game pretty evenly matched.
It's been a great sort of start, and they're both playing a little bit differently as well. So New Plymouth are playing with the structure of their three forwards and being really structured with it: 3 forwards, 3 clear outs, 3 forwards, 3 clear outs, and then so it's basically a 3-3-1. And then you're looking at Hastings, and they're actually they're kicking and they're moving the ball to the width. So very different styles, which I really like to see, you know.
I'd like to acknowledge the open side prop too. Jacob Hart has had some good runs. Might have been wrongly referencing Paddy Howlett too. He's playing strong also, but Hart is playing well. He's the chip over the top, not trying to go too deep. The bounce is going to be important here. A little bit of confusion at the back, and it's Ramses Chong who's at the base of the play, and then it's fed out by Rova. They again just need to settle themselves down. Up through the middle they come. That's the halfway line. and not releasing.
Yeah, the support. He saw a bit of space there, but the structure of them is that the forwards were on the other side, which is unfortunate.
The kick doesn't find touch. And again, the left foot downtown, that too might stay in the field of play. In fact, it does. Getting right back there to take it up is Bryson Crawford-Pucklety. Again, utilising the wind extremely well at the moment. New Plymouth Boys High School, centre field, about 30 metres out from their own line. Here is Hastings muscling around to support their player, and they too will utilise the boot. A big towering punt downfield, taken skillfully, and then returned in good order. And this time around, not quite what they were after. Not what they were after either, and that's pressure, all-day pressure. He just kicked it out on the full, so the Rangi Kiwaho goes all the way back to where he's kicked it from. But in general, good kick chase, good game management. Feels as though that someone's going to break free pretty quickly. I'm just not too sure where. I think for New Plymouth, on my end, they just need to get their structure right a little bit, use their forwards and continue using them, and then have the right to go forward and width. And for Hastings, I just really want to see them punch the ball a little bit more. Well, they've got good control, and certainly working well at the back is Jamal Ross. I'm going to take my head off to Owen Leatuafe, who is the hooker here for New Plymouth. Good control and solid defender. As we come back to the home team, they now have the football pushing their way forward as the jerseys muddy up slightly, making it somewhat difficult at times to pick up numbers. Down the left-hand side we come, and here's a promising run and really skirting the sideline on the far side of the field. Ross is in there quickly to create more opportunities. This is a nice phase of play here, a nice period for the Hastings squad, and they are rewarded with another penalty, which will add to their opportunities to work downfield. Yeah, Harmini there from, looks like the flanker there. Mitchell just sitting there, wasn't rolling away. Wasn't rolling away from the ball, so got the Harmini is going to plug it into that corner, and that's a great platform to attack from. Line out again from Tavita. See for a good line out, good platform. I could see a Mora coming, or they could go to the centres. Yeah, well, they've been pretty effective with their mauling work here this afternoon. The scrummaging's been impressive. Both teams well matched. Coming up towards 20 minutes, I really wouldn't have anticipated that the scoreline would be 0-all, but that's how tight it is here this afternoon. You're watching Super 8 Rugby on Māori television for Kata Māori. Good scrambling work there. That was the wind picked that ball up from the line out. So now the onus here upon Taranaki and New Plymouth boys. Big ups to all of our whananga who are watching here through Māori television down around the beautiful maunga of Taranaki. Be proud of the way your boys are going at the moment. Here's Crawford-Pucklety. I like the way this guy moves. And, of course, getting another opportunity. He came on quickly. It comes with intent. Throws the little dummy. Shrugs away from one. Angles himself towards the line and scores. That simply. He just ran himself to the spot where the referee was and just made it all look so easy. Skillful play. Caught the opposition napping. Bryson Crawford-Pucklety did it all on his own. Yeah, it was a Harmini for offside, so he just picked the ball up. He actually regathered it, ran 40 metres, tapped it, and then just put the big sidestep on. So Pucklety, here it goes here, bang off the left foot, nice bump there, and get out of the way, and then all he's going to head down and over the try line. Well, he's a skillful player. He ran it back at pace too, to where he was to receive the penalty. I think that might have just caught them napping, because then they tap a couple of steps and, well, really it's a try that shouldn't have been scored. But I don't think that the defenders' focus was on where he was coming from. I think they were anticipating a tap and then feeding others. But he decided to take it himself, and that's a good try here. Took 20 minutes to come on through, but good effort there, and a solo effort, to be honest, by Crawford-Pucklety. He's a skillful player, and I'm sure we'll see some more of his fine work through the course of the afternoon. Yeah, you want to see that from your hika, your 15, he's ranging, you want to be able to insert yourself in the back line wherever, and he's been playing as a pivot as well, so he's actually had his hands on the ball quite a lot. And that was a decent conversion as well from about 20 metres to the left-hand side of the uprights. And so it's a 7-0 scoreline finally after about 20 minutes. So it took a long time, but they've finally broken through. And it's Hastings who lead here against New Plymouth. You're watching Māori Active. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Caltex, and many others who have made the coverage here on Whakaata Māori possible. Bailey's another one as well. The Stream Shop, who do such a neat job of bringing the action to you each afternoon. And of course, wonderful to have these games available at your leisure through YouTube. So that's a good start here from the team that just conceded a try, and they'll realise that they need a bit more control when they get themselves into strike zone. They need to utilise that opportunity. 22 gone, 7-0. Here's a good chance for the visitors.
Yeah, this is a great defensive attacking position that they're in. Great whana into the corner. And now they've just got to put pressure on the Rarangi ki waho. You know, they've got to put the pressure on the line out. Get up there nice and high, get in front. Really put pressure on the jumper.
Tom Allen's been exceptional here, and he goes up once again, securing it for Hastings. They won't hold it down this end of the ground, I don't suspect, for too long. Big bullocking run here too as they mean business, the big powerhouse forwards. They're trying to set the stage. Back we come. Here's the kick downfield, and it will be angled towards the touchline. In fact, does extremely well. It's flicked back on the inside. Is it still alive? No, the touch judge's flag is up on the far side of the field. So the kick was decent, and the leg break allowed it to go travelling across the sideline, even though on the far side of the field, Chong was hoping to keep the ball back in play. Not so. Thanks to Pure Athletic, New Zealand Carbon Farming, also supporters of our coverage here on Whakaata Māori through Māori Active.
Yeah, looking for a good throw here by the hooker so they can get that platform. Nice again. Looks.
That Tom Allen's been exceptional in the line-outs. And Arwen Lea Tuafi is the man responsible for throwing the ball in. They earn themselves a scrum, though, here. And so Hastings on a bit of a roll. 24 gone, 7-0 scoreline here. And a little bit of communication between Ross and Deacon. He's got... as I've mentioned, good management skills. Obviously, he's one of the go-to men and holds a lot of mana within the ranks here at Hastings Boys. Jamal Ross. That's him with the headgear on the far side of the field. Getting good support in here today, from the Hastings community and parents, families of the players out and about today.
Yeah, Ross is... He's a great distributor of the ball. He gets quick to the ruck area as well, so it speeds up the ruck. And so your likes of Deacon and your fullback, he can come at pace on the ball. So, like I said, they're using two pivots here, so either side. So great attacking opportunities for him, and Ross is doing a great job there.
So this into feed from the other side of the scrum here, on the halfway line or thereabouts. We mentioned at the start of the game the wind was going to be a factor. It certainly has played out that way. The kicking game so absolutely vital here this afternoon. This is Super 8 Rugby, and another chance for the home team to advance their cause.
Yeah, the Po Whakamua just going down there on the left-hand side. But it's muddy out there, you know, just slipping a little bit. But those are the laws, unfortunately, and I'd like to see that if it is a bit slippery out there, the referee, good refereeing out there, would just move it to the right or the left. But, you know, this is a good option for Deacon to funner it right down to the corner.
Well, I'm sure you've played in worse conditions than this, Media Baker.
Snow.
You've played in snow. Yeah, indeed. Of course, Media International representative, both codes, Kiwi Ferns, Sevens, and did a lot of coaching offshore before returning home to beautiful Aotearoa and the Riviera. Here you live in the Riviera.
Yeah, the Riviera of the South, Riverton, Aparima River. So it's a beautiful place anyway if you want to go down for some tourism.
Kelly, you're actually home here a little bit, the way, Medi, because you're whakapapa through Kahungunu, isn't it?
Yeah, Ngāti Porou, Kahungunu, right up in the Mahia Peninsula. So New Hakamarae, so beautiful spot both ways.
Good to be home for you, sis.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful to be here as well. Really pleased to be able to bring you the action live across Whakaata Māori. Gee, this guy's had a good game, hasn't he, Tom Allen? He's been a tower of strength, so to speak. But this time around, it doesn't work in his favour. Whakaata Māori, 7-0. 27 gone, 35-minute halves. Just short half-time breaks too in the Super 8 rugby competition. And, of course, those of you who watched a couple of days ago when we broadcast the game between Tauranga College and Hamilton Boys High School have to be impressed with the run of form that Hamilton have had. Let's stay with this action for a moment, though. Good mauling coming in here and some guidance at the back. Siridova is talking to his men up front. And nice shape for them as they work it through Tito. Now barging run through Chong. But the defence here from Hastings also pretty sound. Rova once again holding up just momentarily. Back through the hands of Bo Pally. That delivery, half volley, pick up, skillful. But it has gone forward. I was hoping the referee might have allowed that to go on because it wasn't forward by much. But I guess in a way it certainly was forward. So the ref right on it with his binocular vision. And that was a little knock-on indeed.
A little whakataka. But then, great. They're trying their best there as well. And in terms of it, the problem was playing 1-3-3-1 is that the forwards from a line have to come around the corner. And so if you haven't got a mobile forward pack, it's quite hard to play that and get them set. So it slows it down a little bit. As you can see, the 9 was there waiting for their players to come around the corner. So, it's a hard one to play, but it's a good system to play. And, just a little bit of a knock-on. And then now we're here for the Noniki.
Well, I tell you, we can't hear it so much, but there's plenty of cordial going out there. It's so important, the communication skills for those whose responsibility it is to steer the ship. And here's a good opportunity here for New Plymouth. They will have the ball, and as you can see, about 30 metres out, centre field. And not surprisingly, Hastings have towed the ball backwards. A little bit of gamesmanship, and that's fair enough too. And there's a shot at goal, I think, here for Callum Tito. He's right in front of the posts, and with the wind the way that it is, pretty sure that it will benefit him. As you can see, a lot of gunk on the boot, and that's the way the track is here at Hastings. They're just getting back to Hamilton Boys. They were a classy outfit as they dispatched Tauranga on Thursday by 30 points to 5 and earned themselves the right to host the final, which will be broadcast, as mentioned, August 13 here on Whakaata Māori. So the responsibility of the kicking tee, Callum Tito. Beautiful part of NZ, of course, New Plymouth. And wonderful opportunities to get down there. You visited lately, Medi?
Oh.
Let's say no then. Well, Taranaki will welcome you, sister.
No, New Plymouth. I haven't been there for you. Last year I was there working for Wharapama Cup, so it was beautiful out there. Beautiful sea views and things like that. Beautiful weather as well.
Here's Callum Tito, Hastings Boys High School. He'll be wanting to nail it right through the sticks there. He hits it nicely, and it raises the flags too. Drifts to the right-hand side, but just inside the cow horns. So a 7-3 scoreline with that penalty. And that was a good decision to take that. Gets them on the board, and that'll give them a bit more confidence. Long way to go in this one, though. Māori Active bringing you the action from Super 12 Rugby, live from Hiratonga. Hastings Boys High School here this afternoon, hosting New Plymouth Boys 7-3.
Yeah, that was a hard one for Ross. He slipped over. Again, it's quite muddy out there, so, all things can happen in the mud.
It's sort of mud, but not as we know it, Jim. Because, we've played it real sticky stuff. This one's just a bit sort of claggy. Yeah,
slippery. I think it's just slippery, and like with scrums and changing directions going to be quite difficult.
I don't know if claggy's a word, but anyway, if it ain't, let's put it in our new rugby dictionary.
Oh.
What do you mean, Al?
Looks like it's a forward pass. A bit flat there, New Plymouth. They're flat on the attack. Trying to push it wide in the 22, like no real exit plan. So, and when you're under pressure and the line speed that's coming up by the Hastings boys puts that pressure on them. So, got to come from depth there or, take the ruck and then use your exit kick, your exit whana.
Yeah, well, true enough, they've put themselves under pressure here. And so now it's a time to muscle up. A ton of pressure on here. Hart, Howlett, Bautuafi, Putty. They all have a role here at the back. Reeve, Nelly. Good shot here as we see Ross to feed the scrum. Referee dissatisfied. Wants it reset again. There's the challenge in front of them, just 15 metres. About the same to the right-hand side of the posts.
Yeah, great attacking opportunity for Hastings. You've got the width here as well. It is a hard pass there from the 9. You've got to come right round, and you've got a good solid scrum to make sure that you can get it to the backs, but you've got loads of width there, so you can really start moving that ball a little bit. Love to see dummy running and some change of angles from Hastings boys.
Beautiful day, as you can see. Blue sky in the background, a little bit of cloud cover, but other than that, the wind keeping the rain away. That's been a feature of the weather through the North Island in the last few days, as we see a good open running and once again sliding through and in for his second try of the afternoon. This is Bryson Crawford-Pakoti. Classy effort here from the home team. They nail that one. They got themselves into good field position, really coming off a mistake, a basic error inside their danger zone for the visitors. But, gee, he slides into the line beautifully, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And here comes the Nonoki here. It just comes around rightly for Ross. Nice pass there, and he's looking for the fullback here, and he just hits it with nice speed. Comes off his left here hard, and then just puts the foot down. Man, he runs with beautiful balance.
Well, Makaha, no doubt about that. There's plenty, when he gets hold of the ball, he just chimes in nice, and it's all about timing your run, isn't it? And he injects himself into that line with skill, and of course the age-old adage too, run at the gaps, and that's exactly what he did there that time around. Oh, one of the best on show here this afternoon so far. Bryson Crawford-Pakoti is having an outstanding game. That's his second try here in the first half.
There's a few floating fullbacks around in this competition, isn't there? Bryson Crawford-Pakoti and also Peyton Spencer from Hamilton Boys, and they just read the game really well from Mahika, the 15, the fullback, and they insert in the backline amazingly, both of them.
Yeah, they're good, and I really like that first try too from Bryson when he just caught the opposition napping. This time around, it was a real fullback's try. He waited for his opportunity and then was able to swing through and take advantage. 14-3 scoreline here. Thanks for joining us on Whakaata Māori. Many different platforms for you to enjoy Taha Māori content here, and of course you're mindful that it's no longer referred to as Māori television. To accommodate the changing digital circumstances, you might want to pick it up on YouTube or whatever different platform that's available to you on your computers. So deliberately the organisation now referring to it, the entity, as Whakaata Māori, or mirroring Māori. And it's great to have you along here too. Sort of still celebrating Matariki, this lovely period of the year, which has brought us all together. That's a whakataka. So we'll get the scrum to be set. Really important, if possible, here as we come up towards half-time. I remind you that clock that you're seeing in the corner of your TV screens or on your computer is the one that we reference. Ultimately, the clock and responsibilities fall on the referee. That's really a guide for you as to how close we are getting. I think this will be the last scrum of the first half. Here's City Rova, who will feed the scrum. Let's hope that New Plymouth are able to do well with it. They've conceded 2 tries, just the 1 penalty for the visitors. It's been a hard day at the office in the first half here in Super 8. But now they have a decent chance to. That carry is from Ramses Chong. And the referee says you're not giving the ball away. Some taking exception there. And teammates coming on in and pulling each other apart. That's the way you've got to be too. Of course, a bit of testosterone flowing through the lads. And this will be a kick to touch to end the first half. Well, made an exciting first half there in the end. It was a long time without scoring, but now 2 tries to 1 penalty, and the scoreline 14-3, and a good lead as we go into the half-time break.
Yeah, great lead there by Hastings Boys High. I think they're a little bit more structured. They're a bit more patient with the ball, and also you've got people like Tom Allen, Tavita, the hooker, And Kobe, Deacon and Ross are just really managing the game really well. And then, the fullback, how good is he?
He's slid in beautifully twice to score the 2 tries. Great to have you along here on Whakata Māori. 14-3 half-time. We'll take a quick break, come back and have a look at those tries as we prepare for what should be an exciting second half here from Hastings.
Whoops. Running.
Yeah.
Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex. No time to fluff around today? No worries. Just swing into Caltex and pay for fuel with Pay an App to speed on through. Ooh, yeah. Feels good. Use it at your local participating Caltex.
Kia ora no e tiwi, ngā mahara mai anō. Kia ora, and thank you for your interest and your viewership here across Whakata Māori. 14-3 scoreline here. Beautiful day in Heratanga. And as it turned out, Hastings turned the back end of that first half into their own. It took a while. There was a grind going on, and it was scoreless for the better part of that first half. But then we saw the talented fullback, Bryson Crawford Pakoti. He really caught his opponents napping. He'd run 40 metres to a breakdown and a penalty. That was duly converted Bryson's try. This is the penalty that picked up the points for the visitors, just the 3 in that first half. And Crawford Pakoti, this is a nice try too. Watch the way the fullback chimes in here as Ross delivers up to the left-hand side. And good understanding. And watch him just step, straighten, and is able to slide through. Young Zed, I think it was, got a little bit caught out by his footwork as we check out the New Plymouth Boys High School team talks in the middle. They know they can do better. We'll be looking forward to them doing just that, although the wind probably doesn't favour them going into the second half. Hastings will be pretty satisfied with their work. As mentioned at the top of our broadcast, they've won 2 out of 4 here in the preliminary games of the Super 8 rugby competition. And some impressive play as well. You really like the work that we're seeing from Ross, from the fullback. And indeed, Tom Allen's been outstanding, hasn't he? Really securing some wonderful ball from the line-out, Nettie.
Yeah, Tom Allen has been all over the park. Line-out security set piece is really crucial in these games, especially with that wind. And also, you can't go past your hika, Bryson Crawford Pakoti. He's phenomenal. He's really good. He's
having a go today, fair enough too. I thought that he'd chimed in there, but he really was at the end of a courier line of good service delivery that allowed him to straighten and then step to score that second try. So important here that the visitors get away to a good start, and this time they decide, well, we're not going to muck around. We'll send it across field, across the eastern touchline there. As you can see by the flag that the touchy has, a significant wind, and it has already played a factor and will continue to do so through the second half of action here today. As again, acknowledging all the connections that are part of bringing the action to you, Mighty Active. And Bailey's and Caltex, without their support, the coverage here just wouldn't be possible. In the way that we're celebrating Rangatahi sport on Whakaata Māori, so important. Now we have, again, the home team who are building in confidence. The ball is there. The referee says, grind it out, boys. Keep going at it. Here's the kick over the top, needing a good chase. And it's taken beautifully by Ross, who continues with his good form. In comes the fullback once again. This time he is cut down, but he delivers up the football nicely. And at the back, it's Tofa Kofanunga, who again, utilising the wind on the far side of the field. Taken at the back here by Ramsey's, Archong, and then the left foot, but it's a charge down as well. And so some issues at the back here for Hawke's Bay. And they're really having a scramble at the moment. Good work here from Hastings Boys High School. Continuing to apply the pressure and really screw their opponents down until they can get hold of the football. Scrum to be set, and it's New Plymouth who will be very pleased to get the opportunity to feed that scrum.
They're pretty lucky. They were scrambling. The word is scrambling. Just not really well organised with the exit plays out of the 22. And they just seem to just not too sure where to go. But yeah, hey, they've got the Nonuki and they've got an opportunity to exit from here. So I would be looking at hitting it in the middle there and then a good kick downtown, get out of here, reset, regather, turn Hastings around. Yeah,
well, it's important too. So firstly, secure the football and then a strategic pump into the back corners and a good chase is really what's needed here. But instead, they allow themselves to be put under pressure in their danger zone while they have the football here. I'd be surprised if eventually it's going to end up on the boot. There it is too, at the back there, Siri Rova. Puts it across the bounce, slightly awkward, and eventually pulled in on the far side of the field. So Hastings muscle around, the man with the football. Plenty of whistle action here this afternoon, no doubt about that.
Yeah, holding on there. Just got a little bit isolated. You know, when you've got the support players coming in for the ruck, the roles and responsibility is to blow out that ruck, blow any threats out. And the arriving player just didn't do that. So that's given the opportunity to New Plymouth. And he's really kicked it right into that 22. What a great funner.
Well, Toby Deacon was keen, but in the end, it was the visitors who will benefit here. And quickly to his workers, Owen Letuafi continues to do well. Solid footballer, the hooker. And he gets us underway real quick. The throw benefits, as it turns out, Hastings. And look at this charging run, bulldozing the way forward too. Good response as it's into the hands of Ross, and now at the back for Deacon. But again, another indiscretion, another penalty coming thick and fast here this afternoon. Yeah,
offside there. You know, New Plymouth's got to be careful here. Too many infringements and you'll be looking at a yellow card. But, yeah, they still really need to give that penalty away. You know, they're still in an attacking defensive zone. And if they just keep that, they would have... This is what I call a real... You know, one of those penalties you just don't want to give.
Leaf must pay tribute to him too. He got hold of the football and went like a bull at a gate, charging forward. That's him setting himself there now. He's playing strong and a good hand here at the moment. It's a throw-in for Hastings Boys High School. They'll be pretty satisfied with where they're sitting at the moment. 14-3 and in control of this one. Just about 5 minutes into the second half. Here, Māori Active. Super 8 Rugby. Again, Tom Allen showing what a class act he is. Obviously, he's getting help with good lifting technique as well from his teammates, but his extra height and size just allowing him to really be dominant in the lineouts here this afternoon.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a yellow card, and it's our man Tom Allen. Indiscretion there. He just I have a funny feeling that he didn't quite see it. If we could get a replay, it looked as though he took a player out. And there he goes there. He's going forward, moving his team, which is all.
I can't quite pick that one up.
I think it's what he's done right here. Bang. Yep. Can't do that. He's rucked a player on the ground. And you just, yeah.
Okay. All right then. I was looking more at his upper body, but obviously the referee's looking at...
Yeah, you've still got to take care of players that are on the ground. That's a silly penalty, silly yellow card, something that a coach's killer, I call them.
Unnecessary.
Yeah,
well, what it does is give New Plymouth High School an opportunity. Now up against 14 men. Let's see if they can take advantage of that. On the far side of the field, they start to maul, but can they control with the football? Comes Rova. Then the chip over the top from Tito. Beautifully read at the back. Another penalty. It has been a whistle-a-thon here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's... Coming around from the side, I think. Doesn't look like it's offside, so normally the offside is he's coming across his body, so arms everywhere, the referee.
Oh, well, they're going to call it as they said. I'm not being overly critical, just quite officious in the way that he runs the game. Sometimes referees give a bit more leniency and have more open running rugby, but he's pulling up these teams for minor indiscretions, and that's fair enough. You've got to follow the rule book.
And you should.
But it can be a bit disjointed as a result.
I think with the women's game, they don't tend to be leader of the law, and it actually hinders them when they get into international. So I think, right now, leader of the law, this is the way it is.
Well, here we are in the best possible opportunity in some time for the visitors. Through Tito now. He's to ground, as you can see. They're just about 10 metres from the try line. Great opportunity for the team from New Plymouth. Into the hands there of Lea Tuafi, who barrels his way forward. They've got runners out on the right-hand side. Jacob Harder waits to the right-hand side here as scrambling to try and get hold of the ball. Hastings musting their way across and trying to drive it through the middle here. Well, it's anyone's ball. Here's a great opportunity here for New Plymouth Boys High School. They're cutting it out wide, stepping back onto the inside, but still coming up short. Good D from Leaf, keeping the challenge at bay, but still the black and whites moving quickly and trying to get the ball secured. It's anyone's ball here at the moment. The numbers are down the left edge, and this time around I think they might have got there, but the referee is going to say no, I didn't get a clear picture of it held up, but I'll still get another opportunity, New Plymouth.
Yeah, it looks like there he goes, picks and go there, nice and low, but it looks like he's underneath the ball there, could have been held up. Referee right on there, it's just like no. But he is given a penalty. And that could be for offside, just around the ruck area. This is better control by New Plymouth as well. They're controlling the ball. They're using their forwards to go forward. Looking for the set piece, the Rangi Kiwaho, to really sort of to find their mismatch. They're one down, Hastings one down. There's some mismatches there, especially in the back, so I would suggest.
Well, it's absolutely important that they profit from this opportunity, that they have an advantage numerically. Here's the throw in here from the Tuafi. Good climb here. Great opportunity for New Plymouth if they can control the football. It's come out the back, still grinding their way forward. Just a metre out from the try line. This will be a good and well-deserved try if they're able to get across the line. That ball's gone to ground, retrieved skillfully, but still with work to be done.
Yeah, Hastings again. This is going to be an infringement around the area. He's just talking to them a little bit around the ruck area because they've been offside several times. Have a wee chat to them. Hey, you've been offside. Take one more step backwards, boys. One more step backwards and I'll be happy. That's what the referee's saying.
Yeah, well, fair enough too, because the frustration can build with the whistle man as well when there are constant indiscretions. So there's a kick out. I think it was taken back on the inside, so it's play on. What's the referee done here? That's a whakataka, a knock on. Getting a bit sort of shirty on the far side of the field, I guess.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity for New Plymouth Boys. And, they could have started off with a rangi kiwoho and then attacked from there. But they've just, whakataka, they've just knocked it on.
Well, the decision to kick for touch didn't quite work out for them either, so...
It's patience.
Honestly, I couldn't quite understand the play. Well, no, they're still in there with a chance here. Harry Theodore there on the close to us, playing on the side of the scrum today. Haven't seen a huge rotation off the bench, but we'll pick up on those numbers as time goes by. Jack Wiseman also perhaps looking to get a little bit more ball, one of the bigger guys coming out down the right side, but it will be Ross. As we say, he's got a clever rugby brain, Jamal Ross, and he feeds the scrum, the skipper. And they'll be looking to get a kick, get themselves out of trouble. I don't think that'll be too long in coming. The pass is poor. In fact, it's been knocked on there. I don't know if the referee picked up on that one. He has indeed. And so Hawke's Bay immediately get another opportunity from close range.
Yeah, New Plymouth's given another opportunity,
New Plymouth, sorry.
And you know what? And this is great. It's great to see that they're going to get another opportunity because they deserve it. But they have to be a little bit more patient. They're trying to go at 100 miles an hour rather than sticking to the structure, sticking to their policies and their process, and then just grinding it out until they find the space and then they identify it, then attack it. To me, they're just like trying to scramble everything. Slow it down, stick to the process, get everything right, get the set piece right, get the non-piece right, get the passes right from the 9 to the 10, you know.
Joel Parr is in duty number 19 too for the visitors from New Plymouth. It's him just coming around to the outside. He'll slide in there beside Jack Wiseman. But as we know, this is a great opportunity here and will certainly give them a chance with a big back end of this second half if they're able to cross the line. They opt to go down to the short side, a little bit of a stagger, and then needing to set this up profitably for New Plymouth. It's Rova into the hands of Howlett and trying to help out Hart. This is the grind that they've been lacking. Now Tuafi gets them well set. Good defence here too from Hastings. Solid D on this side of the track. Advantage being played here for New Plymouth. They're close to the line now. Twisted and turned there is Sean O'Sullivan, who got close. But he lays the ball back nicely. And then the big forwards coming in. That's looking devilishly close at the moment. The referee's having a decent look. And I think we might see another yellow card here. Is that what he's calling them out for? Medi, your thoughts?
Absolutely. The offside around the ruck area there. Carnival, he was offside twice. Didn't get to the hindmost foot. And again, he's so intent of where the ball is at the end of the ruck. He actually wasn't aware of where he was standing.
Okay.
And so,
you're cutting in some slack there, fair enough too, but it's certainly putting his squad under pressure here. They'll be frustrated at the moment, though, New Plymouth, because they've been so close. They've had numerical advantage, but haven't been able to capitalise on it. And so we'll get ourselves set here. You'd expect them to use this ball sensibly and get the 5-pointer, but we'll just wait and see. Certainly it's their best opportunity for some time to do just that. There's the setting in front of them.
Yeah, they need Kai Whakamua, the forwards, to really get a good scrum on there. I'd love to see the centres have a crack, Anaha and Wiseman, just to see how they go.
Haven't seen too much of them, really.
Not yet,
They've been sheltered somewhat. They've been doing some good defensive work, but I'd really like to see them in some space so they can show us their wheels and perhaps a sidestep at pace. Here we go to set the scrum here, and such a vital scrum too for the visitors. Good win last week over Gisborne. They'll want to go back to back here, and they're still certainly in with a chance as the ball's taken by Rova, but then it's turned over. So Hastings, despite being a man down, will get hold of the football, and there's a penalty to also strengthen their hand, and they've repelled New Plymouth with some very skillful and committed defensive work.
Yeah, Hastings done fantastic there. They got up. I think it was the Ross, the 9, came through quickly after the scrum, and then here's the offside again. Good scrum by both teams though, and you can see Ross there just hovering along there, bumbles at the number 8's foot. Good defence there by Ross and just pounces on it.
He got around quickly, didn't he, onto City Rova. He wasn't anticipating his arrival so briskly, but it certainly upset his groove. And as you can see, Hastings capitalising. Kobe Deacon will put it out on the far side of the field. It's now towards the halfway line, and really they were camped down there 5 or 6 metres away from the try line, New Plymouth Boys High School, for what seemed like 5 or 6 minutes, and just weren't able to get across the line. So great defensive effort here from the home team.
Yeah, Hastings boys high, great defensive. They really did make sure around the ruck area was made their A's and their B's in the right places. So fantastic defence.
Well, Tom Allen won't be in there, or is he back? Yes, he is. Here's Glover. The pass is errant, and in the end, they're going to have to settle things down. They're a little bit caught out there that time around too. The forwards decide, okay, well, we're not going to kick downfield. We'll grind our way downfield, and that's a neat attitude to witness. Here's the kick, finally delivered. Sent back into the talented hands of Crawford Pakote. He shows it too, sends it back on the inside cleverly. Iwasa, I think it is, who has the ball here now. And Ross goes to his trusty ally and Deacon, beautifully taken at the back here. So the kick towards the far side of the field. Back it comes to Deacon again. He decides this time we'll go along the ground. So some good kicking skills on display here this afternoon, no doubt about that. This time it will find touch and relieves the pressure somewhat from New Plymouth. They still need to get hold of the ball to get downfield because they're yet to score a try. Still the 2 tries to 1 penalty, a 14-3 scoreline as we come up to 52 minutes through the game.
Yeah, that's good passionate play. Like the kicking, the funner there that they both did, different styles, one long, one on the ground. But you know, it feels to me that New Plymouth aren't organised enough when they get the ball. People aren't returning back so they can have options. So he's only really got a kick to do. So no options for them. And again, I think Deacon again sort of saw the space in the back and just pinged it straight in there.
Plenty of wind, as you can see there from the touchies flag, and they're breaking from the line out cleverly and getting hold of the football. It's gone into touch on the far side though, so we'll pack down that, or we'll line out anyway again. I think that's what what will be the result here.
Rangi Kiwoho is for New Plymouth, and it looks like there's a new player on the field, new hooker.
Great to have New Plymouth travelling across the country. It was proud schools all involved in Super 8. It's been a fantastic breeding ground for future higher level attainment. And the kick there is sweet too. Moko Lambert can only watch as it sails by. And there's the line out way downtown here. As you can see, a muddy sort of a track. And that player that you mentioned that has come on, I think it might be Caleb Walker. Proud name in sport. Oh, sorry, maybe Carmichael. Thank you, Medi.
It's a great funner as well. And this is what you want from a team from 22 to 22, apply the pressure after the kick. And it means that Hastings has to really work hard to get out of the exit from here, because once they get into 22, they can't kick it out on the full, so we have to work hard.
Craig Crawford securing the football too with some good line-out work. Ross has been terrific today. He's had a decent ally here in Kobe Deacon too, and they really combine excellently. And a little mistake on the far side of the field for New Plymouth. The brothers come in, so it's okay, mate. We'll work hard and try and make up for that. You're always going to get mistakes. You don't want to be bagging your teammates. You need to be encouraging, and obviously the young man of the side is disappointed, but he can make amends.
Yeah, the whakataka, those things happen. The wind is quite hard, and when the ball's swirling around there, it's really hard to actually take it on the foot. There's a little bit of sun coming in as well, so it is what it is. Get back on the pitch and get going again. So, a nonoki for Hastings.
So here's the scrum, and again it's Ross, the skipper, the number 9, the go-to man. He's the guy who steers them around the park, and he's been doing such an effective job of that here this afternoon. Mauri ora kia tātou, kia ora, again for your tautoko here for Super 8 Rugby through Māori Active. Good day, tēnei. Meri Baker with us today. There is a mistake from the first 5, who has had a pretty flawless game today, to be honest. Kobe Deacon this time around just took his eye off the ball momentarily as he looked at the oncoming defensive players. And this time around it will be a scrum feed for New Plymouth. It's been a tough day at the office for our visitors from Taranaki, to be honest, Medi, but still you can't write them off because there's 15 minutes to go and one try would just give them the boost that might be able to spark a late revival to get them across the line. But the way that it's played out at the moment, you just sense too that Hastings have got more intent and more control, and so there'll be a difficult nut to crack if New Plymouth are able to come good at the back end of this match.
Yeah, you just sense that New Plymouth just needs to really get a try to get back into the match. And, you know, this paru, the muddy field does not help either. So you just want to see a little bit more from New Plymouth.
With the chip kick back on the inside, we've got a new player feeding the scrum here. Just trying to pick up their numbers. Sometimes a little bit awkward yellow on the black and white strips. I hope you're going okay with that from home.
Looks like Jacob Carmichael. Is that, or is he? What number is he?
Yeah, fella here at the back. Replacement half by the looks of things. He's stepped in for Rova, City Rova. Into the middle here.
Yep, not releasing the player. And how many?
In fact, that's a number 20, their new half, Harry. Fivri, I think, is the way that we were told the spelling of his surname, F-E-V-R-E, but it's an unusual surname.
But this gives New Plymouth a good attacking opportunity in the 22. You know, all they need to do is have a really good rarangi ki woho, good line out, good set platform. They might go for a maul, it's been working for them. Looks like they've gone to the middle of the line out and it's turnover.
So good run here as well. Hastings just wanted to capitalise, dominate. They've been good here this afternoon. 2 tries to the fullback. And really the game is there for the taking for this. Kobe Deacon sends it downtown. Another great kick from Kobe Deacon.
Yeah, huge funner, isn't it? Just outside the 22, rolled it into the 20, just outside the 22. And that's what you want from a 10, to be able to kick yourself out of trouble, and he's done that all day, so good on him for Deacon as well. And this is going to be a hard exit, and it's shown you Plymouth throughout the game that the exit probably is probably the weakest part of their game, is that they scramble a little bit, so you need a good set piece.
Here's the throw from the visitors and working their way through the middle too. I think it's Leaf again. Solid, strong, big-shouldered young guy. Thanks to Caltex and the sponsors have been helping us out. Victor Vita, I think. It's been a good show here this afternoon. This will make it 3 wins out of 5 starts if they're able to come away with the victory. 11 minutes to secure that victory for the home team with good local support. It's been a game played in good spirit. Yeah, a couple of little flare-ups, but you expect that in rugby. Nothing too untoward.
Hey, you know, it's
pretty well controlled. So big ups to our young guys.
Yeah, they're passionate about rugby, and it's a physical game, and sometimes just get a bit of a shoulder here and there.
Yeah, sure. Meta Baker with us here today. Long-time player and coach. International experience as we see this time around now, trying to create some different opportunities in different parts of the track. Hastings on D quickly, spiralling punt downtown, taken confidently to there by Crawford Pakoti. He manages to pick up a Moko Lambert, and he links up with his big forward on the far side of the field. I think that's Tavita. And so they work their magic here through Ross. Ross is going across field with a cross-field kick, trying to pick up on his outside men. There's a mark taken out to the right-hand side, a tap and go, and trying to peel back a few metres to an unsuspecting defensive line. Barging the way forward. Offside, says the referee. But a bit of a stop-start affair here this afternoon. It's Tyler Hopopper who's into the mix, led the haka nicely for New Plymouth boys. Great tackle on the far side of the field too, but it's still with New Plymouth. And indeed another penalty here.
Holding on to the ball, so he didn't quite release it when he came back up. So it's a harmony straight away. But again, New Plymouth, at least they're trying to attack. This is what I'm liking about New Plymouth, is that they're trying to attack. They've got the intent, and he's just kicked it straight over the top, out of the 22. So all the way back we go.
Yeah, they've got some intent, but it's the technique at times, and they're allowing the home team to utilise what is skillful defensive patterns to keep their attacking flair at bay. I'm not saying that they can't crack through, but at the moment, you just got to acknowledge and give kudos to the home squad. They've really played a good brand of rugby. You've got to play to the conditions they have. Their kicking game's been good. It's a heavy track, and so they haven't tried to do too much, be too expansive. But sadly, it's been a bit of a stop-start affair just by the nature of what's occurred on track. But let's hope that we're in for some more action in the last 8 or 9 minutes here of the match.
Yeah, good attacking opportunity here for New Plymouth, just on the halfway, and they've got loads of space to attack from, so probably not what they wanted.
Absolutely not. It was first receiver, and it's there that you need to keep things tight. And that time around, just, again, it's such a fundamental error, and understandable one as well, because you look up at the defensive line, one of the players down in back play. This is good play, and out it comes into the hands here of Tolima, who gets it wide again too, out to the flying winger Kofanunga, and then a scoop on the outside, but bundled into touch just before being able to hit the mark. And that was entertaining effort on attack, but coming up empty-handed ultimately to Hastings.
Yeah, better attack there. Lots of maka tuurua, lots of offloads as well. Good support play by Hastings boys high, and they just came up a little bit short, but nabbed the penalty as they go. So they're back into, Rarangi Kiwaho. A good line out here. They could go for the mora, the maul, or they could just go wide and try and hit that number 15.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. The throw-in for Victor Tavidi has been a solid contributor here this afternoon. That's him. Ball held high. Where did that one end up? At the back. Visitors or home team. And the referee will ask back dissatisfied with how that line-out occurred, and it will be a scrum feed here for Hastings Boys High, leading by 14-3 with just on 6 to play.
Yeah, it looks like it was a whakataka, a knock-on, and then they're going for the nunuki. Again, in pretty good place of an attacking. They're just inside the 22. They've got a little bit of some space on the left-hand side, but I would suggest that they would be looking to hit out the further lines on the right-hand side. So Ross and Deacon, and then again hitting that Pakoti, out the right-hand side.
There he is, Ross. He's been watching a lot of footy. He'll be watching it tonight as well. The All Blacks I'm talking about here, because he's a skillful player, and that's through playing, no doubt, through most of his life. It's been a young kid, but he's got a good head on his shoulders. This time they're in great range here to inflict more damage.
Yeah, the Harmony just going down on the right-hand side there. You could see the props like, look, it's not me, it's him, and it's a hard one, especially when you're standing on this side from a referee. But, he's called it. And then Ross has said, hey, we'll have another nunuki, and we'll see what we can do. They've got the Pou Whakamua, the front row has got to be a little bit more solid than what it was. I actually thought New Plymouth had it over them just then, but it's a slippery slope, so a slippery surface. So give it another crack, and let's see where that ball goes.
Sort of fancying the chances here of the home team to and another try to their double so far today. Let's see how they work from close range. Ross and Deacon have been exceptional today. Beautiful double around here. It's still alive. Deacon has it. There'll be a runner on the inside. That's Crawford Pakwati who is there, but still in control. Ross. Deacon, the ball's been jarred loose.
That's really good defence by New Plymouth. That line speed was really, it's what they needed. They needed to come up quick. They needed to shut it down, and they did so. And then the Deacon with the wrap around, the defence from New Plymouth shut that down so quickly. So the pressure was there. The pressure was on them. So well done, New Plymouth.
Well, 2 tries early on in the game, both of them to Crawford Pakwati. The first one was a bit of sleight of hand after 20 minutes. There was no score in the match, and then there was a penalty, bringing it back to 7-3. But then another good try once the Hastings Boys High School squad got down into close range at the back end of that first half. And again, it was Crawford Pakwati who was able to profit too from some good line speed and some good distribution, as it ends up on the left foot here of Ramsey's, I think. And he'll find it just short of the halfway line. Don't forget, more action still to come, including the final there on August the 15th. We're heading your way. Part of the coverage that Māori, Whakata Māori, coordinating here and bringing more of our rangatahi sport through their various platforms, including YouTube. But I hope you're able to support more of our rangatahi sport. As mentioned before too, part of this is about reminding our people, tangata whenua, but also all who are watching, of the importance of continuing an involvement in sport post-school. And so many of our young people sort of drop off from organised sport once they leave school. And really all of us here at Whakata Māori are wanting to encourage whānau communities to continue on that sporting vein as young parents and into the action. Now, here's a nice little run back on the inside. Deacon's been exceptional today, pops the ball up nicely, still in with a bit of a chance here, and that's a penalty, and understandably too, because he got right across the top and broke down what was a promising raid here from the home team. So young Jamal Ross comes in. He'll want to settle things down. In fact, it comes to Deacon. As I say, the two in the headgear have been really wonderful here this afternoon, and I think that they are looking at the scoreboard and at the time clock and recognising that they have this one in the bag. And they are deserving victors too, because they've just played a better brand of footy. I've been really impressed with the Deacon and Ross, Victor Vita, Tommy Allen. They've all had strong games today, not to mention McNaughton and Iwasa, Matolu, Pataya. They've all contributed nicely here today. So big ups to them. And we are just awaiting the conclusion of the game too, with a couple of minutes to play here. Who's stood out for you this afternoon, Medi?
Yeah, stood out for me again is Crawford Pakwati. He was great, wherever he went. Ross and Deacon have been fantastic, and Allen again. So, but, on the New Plymouth side, Kalamtito, a great kicking game.
Kia ora. Ramsey's Chong listed on 14, and there's a penalty for the home team. Well, had a win last week, as I mentioned, through the call against Gisborne, and that was a hard-fought victory for them. They were hoping to replicate that on their trip across here to Hastings, but it's not going to be today. She's a tough old competition, Super 8. You come away with the wins, you really need to be on your game and play a consistent brand. And as you've touched on a couple of times too, Medi, at times they've been guilty of not having an exit plan from their own danger zones, and it's caught them out and put them in trouble, vulnerable at certain patches of the track.
Yeah, certain patches for New Plymouth, but Hastings, I think, back to the drawing board as well around the defence around the ruck area, and just what the support player does around the ruck. Some of them come in, some of them don't. So, their roles and responsibility. That's what I'd be looking at if I was coaching this Hastings team.
Ball back on the inside too. Nice little play here at the back end of the game. Here's a pass, and so delicately working down the left edge. But the referee again imposes himself. And must have stepped into touch. There we go.
Yeah, but that's great attacking play, isn't it? We've got like 1 minute to go and they're like, let's still attack. They've still got the attacking mindset, New Plymouth. They haven't won this game, but they've said, you know what, from our 22, we've got no exit plan, so let's just run it.
Hastings and New Plymouth Boys High School, just the one penalty, so that'll be somewhat disappointing for the visitors to come across the island. And here's the throw-in. The line-out work from the home team has been quite exceptional here this afternoon. And certainly their skipper and halfback, right on the money. So big ups to Jamal Ross for the way that he has controlled the squad and the pace of the game too from Hastings' perspective. A late penalty. And this will get them into good field position. Perhaps a try to finish off the game. It'll be what they have been seeking all through the afternoon but unable to attain. But I'm sure that they'll be wanting to bundle their way forward here as we see 17 Tyler Hopapa getting into the mix. That's him, the big guy on the right. And throw in here will be perhaps the last of the afternoon. So it is the home team who have it, New Plymouth. You wouldn't want Hastings to let their guard down. I'm sure their coach Tawhai Iwasa will be well satisfied with their work. And again, Deacon and Ross showing why they've held in such high regard. But don't write off New Plymouth here. They're trying to grind their way forward inch by inch, millimetre by millimetre, and they're not too far away from the prized land. But that defence is in pretty good, and that head got in the way momentarily, but now we're back into the action, you guys. And what's happened here will come back. Referees allowing the game to flow on. It wouldn't be too far away from a full-time hooter, that's for sure.
Yeah, giving it another harmony here. And that's a good intent there by New Plymouth. Again, I'd like to see them maybe picking and going a couple of times off that ruck area and then going wide and then really getting their wings involved, trying to exploit what's happening on the outside, see some holes out there. But, they've got a Nonoki now, so their forwards got to shape up and then see how they can retain this ball and then go from an attacking structure from there.
Well, they'd love to score a try. Come right across the North Island from one side to the other without wanting to get on the board. They've had that one penalty, but they'll be deserving of a try. Although, in saying that, the defensive work here from the home team has been very tight here this afternoon in Hastings. And so they have earned the lead that they enjoy here at 14-3. This will be the last play, I suggest. A little step up on the inside again. Those two most prominent of the defenders are there. But here they come, still with a bit of heart, and a penalty here for Hastings. And so that opportunity, I'd suggest, has now gone. And a tap and a kick to touch would probably finish us off here. But congratulations to both teams. Obviously, what's most important to us here as broadcasters is to celebrate the effort on show there today. And there was plenty of that. But in the end, the class was shown, I guess, by Hastings Boys High School, the home team, who are able to deliver the goods when it mattered most. 2 tries to the exciting fullback, Crawford Pakoti, and just the one penalty for the visitors from New Plymouth. As the boys go into a huddle, we'll take a break here. Victors at Hastings, the home squad, by 14-3. We'll come back to you with the post-match interviews and a bit of review. Great to have you along here on Whakaata Māori. Good win, 14-3 to Hastings over New Plymouth in Super 8 Rugby.
Want to catch a fuel bargain with Caltex and Supergold? Scan your Caltex app, Flybys or Airpoints for 6 cents off per litre with Pumped. And show your Supergold card for an extra 2 cents off. Ah, feels good.
It's great to have you along. Hope you've enjoyed the match here from Hastings. It's been a pleasure being part of the coverage for Whakaata Māori and, of course, Stream Shop, who've been shooting the pickies on behalf of Māori Active, this new kaupapa to encourage more of us to be more active right through life and not just through our youthful years. Speaking of youthful exuberance, some good work on show here today from Hastings, and it was a tough day at the office here for New Plymouth Boys High School. They tried their best, but the defensive qualities that were on show here this afternoon by the home team are right on the money. Thanks to Apollo Projects, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming, as well for their support of the kaupapa. This is the weaving run of Bryson Crawford Pakoti, and this is his second try. Good lead-up work. Jamal Ross was skillful in the way that he delivered out. So was Deacon. And a nice little pop ball there from Tolima to the fullback, who chimed in beautifully and then stepped off his left foot and straightened up, was able to come around and improve the position for the conversion as well. So 2 fine tries to the fullback. A lot of good lead-up work, though, responsible before he was able to get in and capitalise. As we see them in a huddle, they'll be pretty satisfied with their work. They came into the game 2 wins from 4, and now that is 3 from 5. So they keep their chances of making the final slightly alive. I think we're okay to go through to Medes on field for our post-match interviews.
I've just got Jacob Mitchell, hard-working flanker for New Plymouth Boys High here. How hard was that weather out there, the wind and the mud?
Look, I think the conditions definitely played a part in the game. It was obviously definitely easier going with the wind than into the wind. And with the conditions on ground, with the mud and all that, there were obviously going to be a lot of handling errors and stuff like that, but I think both teams played pretty well, even though the conditions.
Callum Tito had a great kicking game. Is that part of your exit plans and things like that?
Yep, we looked to exit a lot, especially when we're under pressure in our half. It was obviously a lot harder to exit into the wind than it was with the wind. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things we look to do. Yep.
And just one thing to work on for next week?
Probably just consistency and discipline. We just seem to be getting penalised for a lot of things, and piggybacking teams down the field when we had them under pressure.
All right, well, good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, thank you.
Kia ora, got Jamal Ross here, hardworking 9. It's good to get a wind out of here with the weather conditions.
Yeah, it's always good to get a win at home. I know these conditions were pretty hard for the boys to play in, especially going into the wind and these muddy surfaces, but yeah, really proud of how hard the boys worked today.
I thought you and Deacon had a great combination there. Is that something that you guys work on quite a lot?
Yeah, over the past we've sort of built that connection, and when we get out there it sort of feels pretty natural playing with him. So yeah, big ups to him for being by my side, and I will always be by his.
So good forward combinations there going forward, and then unleashing some really good backs out wide.
Yeah, it was big this week to finish, so we're getting those forwards to work hard and then to make sure those backs would finish for us, just to help finish with all those forwards working hard for us the year.
Yeah. Well, good luck for the rest of the season, and yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing you play more.
Sweet, thank you.
Jamal Ross, too skillful young guy too, and he really did steer the ship. He was the bus driver, he was the train driver, he was the guy who was all over the place, and it profited really well. Good to have you along too. Thanks very much for joining us here from Heretaunga. A 14-3 scoreline for Hastings Boys High School. They continue their good form here in the Super 8 rugby, and for New Plymouth they'll make their way home, and a big trip, but to come away empty-handed. Nei rata mihi koutou katoa homa, kia ora, thank you for supporting Whakaata Māori and bringing our young people's sport on stage. From me, Dale Husband, from Mere Baker, and all the team from Stream Shop who help you to bring you the pictures each Saturday afternoon. We wish you a very pleasant evening and bid you farewell, and hei kua nei rā from Hastings Boys High School. Mori ora ki a tātou.